Hello, my peeps, and welcome to another power-packed Phillips podcast.
Please take a minute to read your MSAs. TY Management.
Today's podcast is going to be lesson 5.6, part 2, line of fit, or sometimes it's referred to as the line of best fit. Please write that in your scribble. Thank you.
Alright guys, today's podcast we're going to talk about a line of fit, or sometimes it's referred to as a line of best fit. We talked about scatter plots yesterday. Scatter plots show a positive correlation, positive slope, negative correlation, negative slope, or no correlation. In today's podcast, we're going to talk about a line of fit or a line of best fit. So let's take a look at an example, and I think it'll make sense by the end of our podcast. All right, here we have a problem. David is training for a marathon. He writes down the time and distance for each training run and then records the data on a scatter plot. He has drawn a line of best fit, our vocabulary word for today, or a line of fit on a scatter plot as shown below. This is what they mean when they talk about a line of best fit or a line of fit. Take a look at the line here I have in green. Notice that if I cover up this part, I have 8 dots to the left of the line. If I cover up this part, notice that I have 8 dots or ordered pairs to the right of the line. So the line of best fit refers to a line on a scatter plot that has the same amount of dots above it as it does below. In this case, I have 8 dots above it. I have 8 dots below it. So the green line would be my line of best fit. The question is, will it always have 8 lines above and 8 lines below? Excellent question. No, it could have 3 above and 3 below, or it could have 5 above and 5 below. So the line of best fit refers to a line that appears in the scatter plot. There should be the same or approximate number of points above the line as below it. So if you would, please write down the vocabulary word, line of best fit. And if you would copy down the definition, a line that appears to fit the data closely, please write down there should be approximately as many points above the line as below it. BRB. So we've talked about a line of best fit. It's a line on a scatter plot that has approximately or the same amount of ordered pairs above it as it does below. You do not have to write down or copy the scatter plot, but please follow along. My y-axis is known as the distance, or miles in this case. My x-axis, side to side, horizontal, is my time in hours. The question for this scatter plot is, which statement best expresses the meaning of the slope as a rate of change for this line of best fit? Choice B is obviously the correct answer, but let's look at why A, C, and D do not work. Choice A, it represents the number of miles he will have to run to finish the marathon. Well, let's look at our scatter plot. We have distance miles and we have time hours. Choice A mentions miles, but it doesn't say anything about the time for hours. So I'm going to get rid of choice A, again, because it mentions miles, but it doesn't say anything about the time. Now let's see why we can get rid of choice C. Choice C. It represents the number of hours he will need to finish the marathon. Well, remember, we're talking about two things. We're talking about hours, and we're talking about distance or miles. So choice C only represents or mentions hours. It doesn't say anything about the distance or the miles. So I'm going to get rid of choice C. Choice D, it represents the distances, in miles that he ran while he was training. Remember, our scatter plot is comparing two things: miles, which is distance, and time, which is hours. They talk about the distance in miles, but they don't say anything about the time. So I'm going to get rid of choice D. Look at choice B. This is our perfect answer. It represents the average speed in miles. Remember, our scatter plot has miles on it. Choice B also mentions in miles per hour. There's our time right there. So choice B is the best choice because it mentions both axes on the scatter plot. It mentions hours and it mentions miles. So choice B would be the best choice. All right, the line of best fit. I told you would get it. It's really that easy. Thanks for watching. Bye.